Hey there, how are you? So this is beginning of week 3 of my attempt at a keto diet for the purpose of weight loss and overall health. I started this 2 weeks ago at just about 270 pounds. So week 1 of the keto diet, I had lost about 5.5 pounds. Now again, I started at 270, so that brought me down to about 264, 265, somewhere in there. So this is weigh-in day for week 2 to see how the changes I made impacted me, what weight loss, if any, I occurred in second week of the keto diet. So I am going to go do the fateful weigh-in now and see if repeating what I did in week 1 helped me shed another significant amount of weight or not. So sit tight, I'll be right back. Okay, so not as significant as week 1, but I did put down another 2 pounds. So I guess I can be happy with that. It's progress. It's moving forward. Would I have liked another 5? Yeah, that would have been pretty cool. But I also have, folks around me and folks that influence me that say, hey, too much weight loss in a rapid amount of time is not exactly necessarily the healthiest thing. So a total of 7 pounds now in 2 weeks, I think, is fairly respectable, considering the only thing I did was change what I eat and how I eat. So if you don't mind, I want to just take a couple of minutes, walk through what I've done to see if this is something that you can relate to or something that may even be useful for you. I am blessed and fortunate that I have a son who is a little mini nutritionist and who has quickly learned a lot and has taught himself a lot of nutrition-related science, and has really been a coach and a great support system for me. In addition to having that coach and that support person who is there to kind of give feedback, give advice, and really let you know what is a good idea, what's a bad idea, and really that just encouragement in those low moments. Besides having that, the number one thing that has made this so far successful is MyFitnessPal. This is an app that I just strongly recommend. I have come to rely on this app daily, all day, every day, to help keep my mind on track with what I'm eating and what the things I'm eating are doing to my body. It's all about the macros. What that essentially means is the percentage out of 100% of the food I eat during the day, how much of that should be carbohydrates, how much should be proteins, and how much should be fats. The initial rollout of this was so completely counterintuitive to what I know and what I think I know and what I've been told my whole life. And it comes down to increasing your fat intake, which is nuts to me, while decreasing significantly, without cutting out, but significantly decreasing carbohydrates. And that was a challenge at first. It was a lot of experimentation and learning and figuring out what foods make sense, how to achieve an 80% fat, 15% protein, and 5% carbohydrates. I am happy to say that I pretty much got that down. I have been able to craft meals every day looking at specific ingredients and figure out what is actually going to be beneficial and what is potentially going to set me back if I add this ingredient to my food. I am finding myself scanning barcodes all over the place every single time I'm thinking about what ingredient I might be able to add or tweak when it comes to my meals. I'm busting out the barcode scanner and I'm figuring out exactly what the nutrition value of the thing I'm about to eat is. So let me give you an example. I started this journey, we pegged a little bit of a higher calorie count because of just how physically big I am. 5'9.5". 270 pounds. We didn't want to immediately go into a starvation diet, so we moved to 2,400 calories for the first week. And mind you, at 2,400 calories is when I managed to lose 5 pounds in that first week. Moving into week 2, I reduced the calorie intake by 100 calories, so I came down to 2,300. That adjusted all the goals. I wonder now that I'm saying this out loud, questioning the wisdom of dropping the calorie count, because then I only lost 2 pounds. But I may be overthinking it, so I won't go on that track, and I'll probably talk to my coach about it when he gets home today. But it was in week 2 when I really got my head wrapped around the macros, and I was able to hit that number almost every single day, almost perfectly, to what my coach says was to reach that state of ketosis, where now your body is looking towards the extra fat you have packed around in the different places on your body to burn energy. My wife, I don't know if she's being generous, but she said she noticed a difference in my jawline and the size of my neck. I think I kind of notice a little bit less of a stomach size than I had when I started, so hard to say for sure, but 2 pounds this week, 5 pounds the first. I suppose it's going to show up somehow physically. I figured out that I can get to the 80-15-5 with very little trouble. My best friends these days are refined coconut oil and extra virgin olive oil, both extremely helpful in getting me to these goals. And the first thing out of the gate is my coffee in the morning. I start my day with coffee. There's no other way that I start my day. For the longest time, I was drinking black coffee, but over the last 2 years or so, I have fallen in love with a specific creamer. It is liquid creamer. It's it's Cold Stone Creamery vanilla ice cream flavored, wonderful, joyful, makes my mouth happy type of creamer. And of course, for the purposes of a keto diet, it's complete garbage. So cut that out, take that down to about 1/3 of a teaspoon into the coffee every single morning, just to try and get a little hint of flavor. Stevia is an odd little substance, sugar substitute. It's the least nasty of all of the fake sugars that are out there. Where the game changer is in the coffee is that refined coconut oil that I told you about a moment ago. This took some definite getting used to. Shoving an entire tablespoon of unrefined coconut oil into my coffee cup, that was a little rough. But I will say at this point, my version of this bulletproof coffee seems to hit the mark. I feel pretty good after I drink it. I don't mind a little bit of greasiness that it brings to the coffee. I just kind of get used to it. So that's the one way to start the day off, with enough of the fat intake to keep the macro going, 80-15-5. That's where we are right now. Again, to recap, I have dropped 7 pounds in 2 weeks by switching myself to a ketogenic diet. This week, I think I have no choice but to build in exercise. I know. This is probably the biggest mental hurdle that I'm going to face in this whole thing, because I've procrastinated on getting started on the exercise because it's timing. It's the time allowed after my kids get on the bus. So in the morning, I'm dealing with that. I've got this hour to spend. Most mornings I'm working on my side businesses and side projects, my podcast and other things that I'm just trying to get done. I get a day off on Monday, but that's usually filled with appointments, and I have to grocery shop, and there's always something that has to be done on my day off on a Monday. Get home from work about 8 o'clock at night. I just want to have dinner and relax and spend time with my kids, and we're not a family that goes to the gym. It's just not the way we are. So it's going to be tough. There is an exercise bike in the downstairs in the family room that I know I need to start hopping on it. I'm going to attempt to do that twice this week. Today's Monday, so I'm going to attempt tomorrow, Tuesday. I'm going to take time away from all of the work that I need to do. I'm going to try to devote half an hour to being on that machine, and then try to do it again on Thursday. So I think if I can get 2 times this week, 30 minutes on an exercise bike, because I definitely fear a plateau at this point. I'm worried that 5 pounds down to 2 pounds is then going to be 1 pound as my body begins to adjust to this diet, worrying that it's going to start trying to hold on to the fat instead of burning it, even if I am in this ketosis state. So that's my update. I appreciate you listening and coming along, and I, again, welcome any advice you may have, anything that I should think about, your experiences around weight loss, and if you've ever attempted this keto diet successfully or unsuccessfully, I'd love to hear about it. Thanks so much, and I will see you next time.